Bing. Here we are. It's the Martin Fowler stand up here. It's Sam and Thomas. Quick updates from me. Yesterday, basically worked with Raoul, got a few things, website one requests merged in. I'm very pleased this morning that the clean room, which now has several of the regularly failing intermittent JS things, was passing reliably like 20 or 30 times on Free Ranger's machine. I think we're still in a bit of a Ruby 2.3 of these upgrades. I think there's still stuff to work out, but I'm slightly more optimistic than I was that we've got a strategy to get through that. And kind of that's what I want to spend all my time on, is just completely sorting that out so that we've got a stable base on which to build everything else on. However, other things demand my attention, like AB102. I do need a bio from you.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
I mean, I guess I'm going to do the mailing this morning anyway, and we'll leave the placeholder in there. And I mean, the mailing is only going to consist of a link to the thing where people may read about us. So, just whenever you can get that. I've got Joao has given me his bio, and I've updated that. And so, yeah, fighting for. I mean, I'm feeling like the AV102, the quality of it's still really. We didn't even really revise it much when we ran it last fall, and yeah, I'm feeling that it needs to be improved. And then, of course, I'm like torn between. Well, I'd rather spend all my time coding rather than recording videos. But anyway, we'll see. Local support, getting some great work from Piotr and Marowen. Put off detailed reviews of their pull requests yesterday. Going to do some more of that today. Big thing today is the meeting with Charles. And yeah, I think that's the main things for me. Yeah, the intermittent JS is the biggest blocker, but hopefully we're on the way. Thomas, how about you?
So actually, not much to report on Agile Ventures. So did some work on the Project Unify code base, but nothing to mention. Just a small cleanup stuff. Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, we've been discussing some strategy questions, and I'm looking forward to the Charles meeting, basically. Yes,
absolutely. Yeah, and he's just texted me about that. I'm just. He didn't seem to get the email that I sent 10 minutes ago, so he might join us soon. So yeah, I mean, we could just I think we could mention what we're talking about, which is working out some way to basically offer premium membership to Agile Ventures as part of the Craft Academy package. And yes, absolutely.
So I feel that in connected to that, we should and I can create some tickets for it, but we should really work out the workflow and about the MailChimp integration. We should probably scrap the newsletter modules from the code base. There's in
website one.
Yeah, because it's just there right now, not used and making.
Yeah, there was. I seem to remember we kind of got almost like 97% of the way, and then there was some final block that stopped it working.
Yeah, so we could reach out to Rene and then see if he can talk us through that, or we can just integrate MailChimp into this. I think you already have a MailChimp account for Agile Ventures, don't you?
I do somewhere, yes.
Yeah, and and use MailChimp instead of having our own module, because the technical depth of that is way too much. It was great fun to develop that, and I actually, I reviewed that code. I think it was 6-7 months ago, and I picked up some stuff from it. So it's not a complete waste of time in any way. But maintaining that code is hard, and actually we never got it to work. So I would vote for just removing that from the code base. Actually,
yeah. I mean, I think it's ironically it's the same with curriculum as it is with code bases. Is that the more things that we have in is that, I mean, and they can all be, developing the curriculum, developing the code can be an extraordinary valuable learning experience, and then also like a resource that you can look back to. At the same time, each individual piece becomes, I mean, I think there's Afflicted Makers Academy, and I'm sure you're finding it's Craft Academy. I think it's affecting all the projects with the documentation. Everything that you write and put out there then becomes something that can gradually go out of date, and then something that someone else who's trying to interpret things can fall over. And it's a potentially a very sticky swamp. And I think that's we'll go back to what we were talking about very originally about that seems to me that's the software engineering the key, how to manage that complexity. The auto graders, we had those huge outages in the last fall, which I think we've now fixed, but again, you know, even with the best intentions, it can just all go very strange. Aha, and Charles is here. Is that Charles? Yes.
Yeah. Hi there, Sam.
Hi, Charles. How are you
Sorry,
doing?
my email runs slow at times, so
Ah.
yes, you had sent it, but no, it wasn't on my screen.
Not to worry, not to worry. I tell you, we will. You know, you've seen Slack. What we should ultimately do is get you set up with the Slack has a desktop version for Mac, and if we get you installed with that, you'll basically be able to get instant updates on the Hangouts and so on.
Okay.
So anyway, we can sort that out. Yes, and Thomas is here. I'm not sure how long you're going to stay.
Hi,
for.
Thomas.
Hello, Charles. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Thomas, have you got to nip off to another meeting soon, or have you got a bit of time for us?
I have at least 30 minutes right now.
Oh, good. Anyway, we've had the important talk that we needed to have, so we'll get straight on to chatting with Charles. Yes. Okay, Charles. So yes, thanks for joining us. I've got. Thank you so much for the document. I've got that up into a Word doc that I am about to. No, it's not a Word doc. A Google Doc. Screen share has come on. It has. Here we go. Yes. So shall we work through this? Is that the?
Sure. Yeah.
So
what you said over the what you said during the week is that you wanted to get this document finalized. Yeah.
Yes. I basically my plan is to submit something today, and you know, if we can iron out any last minor issues in here, that's going to be very, very helpful.
I know you published a link to this document somewhere, Sam, but I cannot find it.
Okay, I'll put one in the chat immediately here. I think I emailed it on
you emailed, yeah.
reply, but here's the link in the Google chat there. Yeah. Okay. So are there things for you that you want to highlight in the document, Charles?
Okay, so there's the first one's on the screen here. The correct phrase seems to be not-for-profit organisations. So I've made a change throughout the document.
Okay.
Yes. What I've done, basically I've just made some minor changes to the document. Apart from when we get to the business plan, I've made a suggestion here. Let's come to that. Let's look at that when we come to it. Let's just go through the
and I think we had previously reviewed this, and I think the language sounds good. We talked about that previously. You've made a change there based on my immediate comment. I mean, I think here it's not that we should rule out ever doing work for anybody else. I think it just we can have this, and that goes to the Charity Commission, and they're like, oh yes, they're doing stuff for charities. And then the trustees can come together, and if we then have somebody presenting to us a wonderful opportunity, it can then be assessed on that cases. But I think, so that's good. So we've got our, advancement of education is the first one. Then we've got to provide the public benefits, and so on and so forth.
Hold on a second there.
Yeah, go on, Thomas.
So just so I understand. So are we excluding this focused on but not exclusively, or are we keeping?
I was saying for this. I was saying yes. Let's remove that, and let's be specific. I think particularly in terms of us submitting to the Charity Commission, let's say that the projects that we're undertaking are for charities and not-for-profit organisations, and let's say that at the very least in our submission to the Charity Commission. And then if we have things outside of that scope, that's something that the trustees can decide on a case-by-case basis.
So I don't know how you feel about that, Charles, but I think this is a good way to go.
I'm good with this. Yeah.
All right, cool, wonderful. All right, let's move on.
Okay, so we've got our advancement of education and the provide the public benefit. We've got the two different things there. Yeah, I mean, I think your inclusion of this kind of wide variety of different things here, Charles, is I think an improvement. So thank you for that. Yes, and then so organizations. So this is the constitution component, and then this is the submission, and so we'll say the same thing again there. That makes sense. So then, so we've got here. So we provide students and experienced software developers with opportunities for further study. Yeah. I guess that's I guess we originally had people of all ages. You're preferring this phraseology.
People of all ages. I mean, we're not dealing with children here, are we?
I prefer, Charles, Personally, I would say that students experience software. Well, supervised students, and
yeah. Well, I mean,
I'm a little worried about the word experience there.
Yeah, maybe should we change it so it could be provide students and software developers at all levels of experience?
Yes.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Yes.
With opportunities for further learning. Yeah. And to develop their individual capabilities, confidence, and skills and understanding in the following areas of study, skills and expertise, including but not limited to, and that's the same set of things from before. Where you deliver as students something, learning assignments and to work on real projects on a volunteer or paid basis to assist organizations with their technology needs. Technology solutions our students deliver include but are not limited to software development. I mean, I'm sort of tempted to just put a not-for-profit in there. Are you putting that in with hyphens, are you, Charles? The not-for-profit?
No, that's fine.
Technology solutions deliver include, not limited to, yeah, it's the same. So again, the projects we deliver are focused primarily on helping employers and not-for-profit organizations.
The phrase we're using is charities and not-for-profit.
Yeah, right, sure. I'll pop that in.
You guys use this third sector?
We have it in the UK, and it's but I think yeah.
Are we skipping that, or?
I think probably. I mean, in as much as I think it's even like, you know, it's not used it's used by some sections within that group. So yeah, I think we can certainly not worry too much about that.
All right. Yeah, Thomas, we do understand third sector. Absolutely, that's the sort of name, that's the umbrella name for the whole thing. But in these, what a charity means in the UK, it means an organisation which has been through the Charity Commission registration. So it's quite a specific term. Mm-hmm. And then there's an increasing number now of not-for-profit. So not-for-profit is really everything else which is in the same third sector which you mentioned.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, the reason I mentioned it is because I heard it from Sam. And
no, and
I'm Swedish. We don't do third sector.
No, indeed.
If you directly translate third sector to our language, it means something completely different.
And in the States actually they use third sector, I think, to refer to the government. And there's groups that have the first two they say are academia and industry, and then the third sector is government. So
okay, so in Sweden this is a socio-economic term, which basically means that the third sector are the people, the underprivileged, you know, the real poor people. Basically.
Right. Well, interesting. I think that there's always room for ambiguity there. But so I think we're good there. So then we've got tell us how your organizational purpose is beneficial. So and then this is suggested the following based on, and that's. Yeah. Okay. So we've got here benefits of So we're all right. They're the two main themes. So benefits based upon education. We've got the not-for-profit there. Not-for-profits there. Yes. So benefits to the public. Yes. Public benefit for multiple areas. Yep. And advancement environment. Relief of those in need by reason of youth, age, ill health. Yep. Excellent. Okay. And then we've got, we do not target a specific, so help us understand who will benefit from your organization's purpose. If your organization is a benefit section of the public, it should be clear who can benefit. We do not target a specific section of the public. Membership is open to any member who is interested in developing the software, developing their software and project management skills. We are willing to work for any charity or not-for-profit organizations who meet the charity mission requirements of providing public benefit. Excellent. That sounds
excellent, yes.
Very clear. So we can accept all of those. So I think we're moving towards getting rid of our old bits and pieces. So operating public benefit, help us understand how the resources of the organization are allocated to the public or section of the public is set up for benefit, if you benefit individuals. Any charity or non-profit organization can approach us through our website and any team member individually in order to ask us to undertake work on a paid or pro bono basis. Having performed an initial consultation, we take the needs of the organization to our members to see if we can form a team who will be willing to work with the client organization to help meet their needs. We're particularly interested to work with charity or non-profit organizations who are achieving or will achieve higher effectiveness or higher impact. Absolutely. So that's good. If you support or carry out projects, tell us how you choose these projects and what criteria you will use for that. The projects are done so at the discretion of our members who are willing to contribute their time, whether on a paid or pro bono basis. Effectively, we are brokering for volunteers who wish to contribute to their IT and project management skills to deserving causes. However, we go further than a simple brokering organization as we help to organize the volunteers to form project teams and help them structure their teams in order to maximize the value delivered to charities and non-for-profit organizations we are seeking to help. Absolutely. The projects we seek to undertake are for charities and not-for-profit organizations in the UK and worldwide. Specifically, we believe we can enable them to become more effective and efficient as a result of technology solutions we provide, which include, a lot of them is to the usual suspects. Okay, particularly, and yeah, let's reiterate that motif. Excellent. Okay. So, if your organization has a grant-making policy, tell us about it. We do not make grants. If your organization has a strategy or business plan, tell us about it and attach a copy of it before you submit your application. Yes, it's okay that.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
right.
Go on, Charles.
So what I've done here, Sam, is that we agreed last time not to have a separate business strategy. Okay. So when I looked at it yesterday, what we've actually got on the table was we've got the thing we developed for the Google event.
Yes.
Plus the sort of first bits of the sort of strategy. So what my thinking was is that sort of let's sort of bridge the gap here. So let's not have a separate strategy because I think we don't need to. But what I've tabled here, and it's really, I'm sort of quite close to it because I've written this stuff. So basically, I'm putting this on the table to say, look, here are some business strategy bits.
Yep.
Basically, if you want to delete all of it, I'm okay with that because we can reuse it another time.
Sure.
If you want to delete it from here, on the other hand, if you want to sort of keep some of it and delete some of it. I mean, it's actually 3.5 pages, and it sort of shows the benefit of including something like this is it sort of shows we know what we're doing. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. No, and I'm very happy to go through this now, and yeah, shall we go through it, review it, and see what state we can get it into now?
Yeah. But so if you want to delete lots of it, then I'm okay with that as well. So I'm not I'm not attached to this.
Yeah. Yes. So I think the challenge over the last 3 years, everybody has trained. I would probably say hundreds rather than thousands of students. So or 1,000 plus. I'd probably go for hundreds, just in terms of we can maybe give us another year and we can push it up to 1,000 plus. But so 1,000 students in software development and provide the students with
thousands of, hundreds of, it should be of.
Yep. So hundreds of students in software development. I would say also so we say project management and related skills, and you could probably put in the list that we had before, and provided should we put it on providing the students with pro bono work experience on 5 software projects for charities, which have well, and so it's I guess it's actually more than 5, but should we put it could be 5 or maybe put multiple, and we don't have to decide that now.
Well, how many have you done actually?
I mean, there's a lot that have been started, and the interesting thing in some ways is that different ones have had different levels of success. So, I mean, if we look at the project list, which is going to come up very soon, is we've got website 1, local support, OSTRA, Project Unify, MET+, Order Graders. That's 6 that have been very active. With OSTRA, that's 7 has like of the ones that have got really large. There's 7, and then there's another I would say 6 to 10 which have been active, particularly like for 2 weeks when we've had a particular group of project students on them. So there's kind of I would argue that there's at least 15, and then you can see like all of these have been created here. So we've got like about 30 in this list, but some of them have not, they were like some person had an idea and it never got past the talking stage, if you know what I mean. So does that make sense?
So the 15, did the 15 get completed? Is that the phrase or what?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we can argue that there's there's at least 12 that have got delivered working software that someone's using.
Okay, well let's say that let's say 12. Let's say 12 completed projects. Then.
Yeah. That we say. I mean, it's I'm still going to be yeah. Anyway, because again, it's like Harrow Community Network, which we've got in there. We're still working on it. Is it ever complete? I mean, it certainly is delivered, and I sent you the link. Did you read much about the agile workflow?
Yes, I did. Yeah. I actually found you've got quite a good section. I've got a lot more questions for both you guys actually on exactly what software we're developing and the benefits over packages. that's for later, because I think
sure. So I mean, understand that. Yeah. Well, I think we can leave this for now. I mean, I'll leave that question mark in there. It's partly I mentioned it because in the context of Agile, there's this idea of, you know, things don't ever really complete. That you basically you agree to spend some time working to help people, you know, get a solution, and it's, you know, the solution is never a perfect 100% solution, and there's always room for improvement, and which is maybe trivial and not worth mentioning in the business strategy, but we'll leave that to come back to maybe.
Okay, and those projects were all for I mean, the phrase I've used here, for charities which have enabled them to be more effective. Is that true, or were some of them components rather than completed projects?
I would say that we've got all of them are completed projects in terms of there was software that's been delivered. You know, I think one would have to go around to each individual charity and say, has this made us more efficient? I mean, I think, you know, for example, Harrow Community Network, I think we can get a glowing reference from them. Projects Unify, I mean, you know, like Thomas's project Unify is in an early stage, but I think they're, I mean, your clients are pretty happy with what you're doing.
Yeah, they love us. They love us.
Yeah. So
I mean, a lot of no, but basically, you know, the people that have been reviewing the prototype from the business world and stuff, you know, they just love the fact that we developed it so fast. You know, the fast prototyping aspect, the agile approach to everything is a very, you know, it's a great way of selling agile ventures as an idea, basically.
Yeah. So, and I would say that, you know, something here is that you know, ultimately one could say multiple, and then one could have a list, and we could put into that list the ones that we think are really worth sharing. So yeah, does that make sense,
I would do it in sales terms. I would do it how we've done it here, which is to say we completed 12, and basically here is one example, which is Harrow. I do it exactly like we've got here, because this is at the end of the day, this is the intro. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No. Yeah. I mean, that's fine. Okay. So our challenge now is to develop a chargeable offer to both charities and students, so we can become A, sustainable, and B, attract more students by paying for work, and C, help charities to be more effective and efficient so they can help more people. The business problem for charities: to survive, charities need better, more effective, and much lower cost software solutions to fundraise, to automate processes and delivery of their projects, and to enable links with other charities. Excellent. Our innovative solution for charities. We offer an innovative solution. By using the latest tools and techniques, the software we develop is better, lower cost, and easier to maintain than most existing packages and off-the-shelf solutions that are currently available. By using open source software, this incurs no license fees, and we can access a wide range of new off-the-shelf components, and we can easily reuse this on other projects. We can offer lower prices than competitors by making use of the learner student developers from our courses, together with a model we have developed which enables us to disaggregate delivery, so we can deliver a project utilizing developers in different places, including developers from low-cost countries. By providing our solution to charities and non-profits at a shared IT platform, this enables these organizations to further reduce their costs and increase their effectiveness by sharing the platform with other charitable organizations, in principle. Yes. Go on, Thomas.
I need to drop out, guys.
Okay.
Life is calling. So Charles, you said before that you had some questions about the agile process. Do you need me for this, or can you take it?
No. We can do this another time, Thomas, but in putting this together, it's made me realize that I actually don't understand some of the fundamentals of why someone should buy from us rather than someone else. Mm-hmm. I've done some work over the weekend on basically packages, on application development, you know, all these different sort of things. And so I really need to get a much better understanding of this in order to move this forward. But let's do this another time. I mean, a lot of what I've learned is really I've packaged in this paragraph we've just been through. So this paragraph, just before you go, Thomas, so this paragraph with our innovative solution, is this something that resonates with you, or do you feel it's got a long way to go to improve it?
I think this is a great start, and you know, my take on language like this is like it's better to be vague rather than specific. I prefer a certain, you know, vagueness in language, because that gives us more of maneuver space.
Wiggle room. Yeah.
Yeah. So but you know, this is cool. I like it. I mean, it's well balanced, I would say.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's make another time.
But I definitely support some sort of a workshop between you, me, Sam, or perhaps some other stakeholders in Agile Ventures, where we can, you know, like brainstorm ideas, and in that process you can pick up more of our philosophy and you know, our way of doing things, but also, you know, but you bringing in stuff to the table, what is, you know,
and we
can learn from you as well, you know. So
okay, so I've got a fellow Swede for you, Thomas. His name is Mats Persson.
Okay.
He doesn't live in Sweden. He lives in Malaysia.
Okay.
Which is a low-cost area. He's taken a look at the code for some of your projects, and he was really, really impressed.
Oh wow!
So
God knows I'm not. God knows I'm not. Anyway.
So he wants to talk to you guys and you know, sort of look at sort of working together somehow maybe. But anyway, that's a separate subject. I'll introduce him by email.
Wonderful, wonderful. Sounds great. Okay, guys, have a productive meeting. I'm sorry I have to drop out, but
all right, no problem. Thanks,
right.
Thomas. Take care.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay, I'm back.
Right. Yes. So yeah, going back to the document then. Yes. I mean, I think I would. I might possibly change for lower prices to say more competitive prices than our competitors. But I, you know, I guess the language is sort of up to you. I guess it is lower prices. Should we call it what it is?
Okay.
So going on, our solution.
You're happy with that paragraph then, Sam? Because that's probably the most controversial paragraph in the whole thing.
Well, I mean, I think yeah. I mean, I would say that like you know, when I read something like this as an academic, you know, and I'm thinking about, you know, is the software that we're developing is better? I mean, I think particularly to the extent that we're using learning developers, I think that the key thing is it would be difficult to argue that in all cases, or I couldn't make an academic case to say that our software is always better and is always easier to maintain. I mean, arguably, I think probably the lower cost one is a solid thing. I think that what we can offer that often off-the-shelf things fail to provide is, or what other businesses provide. So, for example, like the Do It organization, which is who I mentioned to you previously, and they've basically they've outsourced their software, and they're producing a system which has got some qualities, but they're not able to kind of work with a single organization and provide them with kind of like a quick turnaround on here's the solution to your problem. They've got like, oh well, it's going to take several months of discussion and it's going to go round and what have you. And partly it's because they're doing a national play. And so what I would say is that, you know, we can say these things and we're definitely, you know, better than 70% of the people who are like, you know, just hacking away. There's software development shops who I respect, like ThoughtBot and Pivotal, who I'm sure are producing, you know, software as high quality as us, if not higher. But
sorry, who's that one? What's that called?
So, for example, there's Pivotal. I mean, the groups that I would say as you know, who are using the same techniques that we are, and we've been inspired. So Pivotal Labs, is this, you know, they're a great source of inspiration for us. And there's ThoughtBot, and these ThoughtBot, and these are people who basically have taken to heart the agile approach that we advocate. You know, and if you've got, you know, a lot of money, you can go and get the latest cutting edge agile, you know, support and development and so on from these groups. But it's like for charities generally, this is going to be out of their, you know, what's the word? Out of their budget. So yeah, when I see, you know, we develop better software, I would say yes, certainly than some people. But there's, you know, there are, you know, development shops and the sort of consultancy houses who are using the open source and they're using the agile in the same way that we are.
Okay.
If that makes
fine. Well, let's move on then. Yeah. Great.
Yeah. So I mean, that's just to put that in context. Open source software, absolutely. That's absolutely true. Low prices and competitors, yes. Yep. And then yes, this is your concept, which I think is absolutely. I mean, I think if we can get lots of charities in the same framework, there's all of these benefits that can come from that. But it's not something that we've actually done yet. It's definitely something we'd like to do.
Well, you said that Harrow were in this space. Harrow wanted to use the platform for others, yeah?
Well, the Voluntary Action Harrow group, I think they would love to see that the software that we've developed for them to be used by other groups and be deployed, for other groups. That hasn't happened yet, but there's certainly, I guess there's two things here, is that when you say a shared ID platform, that can mean different things. So for example, what Do It has, they have a shared ID platform. And so for example, the special system that they've done for Westminster City Council is within their platform. They've got like a national Do It platform, and they've got a Westminster kind of wrapper that's kind of like really sitting within their framework, and they're entirely supporting it, and it's like actually using exactly the same database. And so what they're offering to Harrow Council is, we could wrap you another one within this like shared data space. And then there's a different thing, which is like reusing the same software in a different location. So for example, we've got a group in China who are interested in using the Harrow Community Network software, but in China. But then, so that would be the same software, but they wouldn't be in the same shared data space, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, well, the reason I've gone for platforms, and I mean platforms here, Sam, is because I was very excited by the Accenture 2016 technology report, and it says that the way forward, I mean, I can send it to you, but it says the way forward is platforms, right? So what my vision is that we deliver someone a piece of software which we describe as a platform, and really for me to make it from the sales process to make a solution into a platform, all you need is just to add a sort of basically add on the top menu, is a client signing up for your organization or another. Yeah, you just have a couple of switches in there for where people sign up to. That's all you need.
Okay.
And then what that means then is that basically, if someone does want to share the solution, either in terms of replication, the same thing, which is Westminster and Harrow, or upstream and downstream, which is the great example is someone with a health charity, and someone within that is a diabetes focus. Yeah. So basically, all you need to do then when someone wants to share that is just to basically, then implement that switch and replicate the system on the platform for someone else. And I think that is so much more powerful these days. The whole platform argument is way more important than the really old-fashioned argument of developing the same thing for someone else. Because at the end of the day, we all know that it turns out differently. Whereas if you say, look, you're on the same platform, what we're saying is, look, we want everyone on this platform to have the same thing. So not just to have 2 health organizations, but to have 10 all doing the same thing.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. And I guess whether the data is shared or not is less relevant from your point of view. It's more about, are they using the same software, and that software then represents the platform. So I'm just trying to think of examples that but so for example, you could argue that Google Docs is a platform, and of course, my data space is not necessarily shared with Tom, Dick, and Harry, who've got their thing, but basically everybody gets their own space within that. They're all using the same thing. Is that closer to your concept of a platform?
Yeah, it's the same words as the words that are used for cloud, aren't there? There's a series of words which I've forgotten now because it was a few years ago. You've got people who've got different databases on the same platform. You've got people who are sharing databases with security. Yeah, you've got all that stuff. Yeah. I mean, security is incredibly important these days. So, if what my vision is that a client of the health charity, who then signing up for the diabetes charity, they have words come up which say, you Mr. Customer, you are agreeing now to share your data appropriately, terms and conditions with this other organization, and that's absolutely your responsibility.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No. Well, I guess I think we can certainly leave that in there. I think there are lots of nuances in there, but certainly part of this whole all of everything we do is data sharing and so on.
Yeah.
And so we pull data from Do It into our system and push it back, and yeah, so that's all fine. Okay.
See, the other thing about this Dan, which I really like, is Jackie, the Jackie Lawson cards.
Mm-hmm.
Have you received one?
I don't know that I have.
Okay, well, you've missed out on a wonderful experience in life. So Jackie Lawson is an e-card. It's an electronic card.
Oh, okay, yeah, electronic card, right? Yes.
With lovely pictures and music and things.
Okay.
So my wife's a wonderful benchmark for these things. As soon as she received a Jackie Lawson card herself, she not only signed up for 1 year, she loved the discount, the extra £1 discount or something, to sign up to pay £13 for 2 years for Jackie Lawson cards. Right. So the thing's a massive chain letter, right?
Right.
So everyone who receives one wants to spend their 13 quid to buy one. Yeah, so they can send. So the thing is with this, is what I love about this is that, say we charge someone £5,000 for their application, yeah?
Yeah.
We message them, there you are, that's it. We message to them, look, basically, why don't you do the deal with someone else, some other chums, and then we can then we can basically, we still charge you the £5,000 plus, but you can then split the cost with your other charities.
Yes. Well, yes, that's definitely an interesting idea. And I think I probably, back in the day, I've received cards like that. But yeah, and so you're pointing to a certain aspect of the sort of upselling.
Yeah, so it's a model whereby the charities themselves go to their people they want to partner with. We don't need to get involved. They just come along and say, look, we've got a couple of chums.
Oh yeah, well, and that would be a viral promotion framework. Basically.
Absolutely, yeah. So the whole thing can go massively viral. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, great. So carrying on there, our aim is to extend our current two-sided platform to provide chargeable services. When you say two-sided platform here, I'm not immediately sure what you mean there. When you say...
Okay, well that's a sort of startup term, but the two-sided platform is described here. So if it's not clear, then change the words.
Okay, I guess, do you mean the fact that we've got two stakeholders? We've got the people who are learning and the people who are wanting their stuff developed for their charity?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. Okay, no, fair enough. Okay, well, yeah, once on the platform, we aim to sell to, I should have just read on, shouldn't I? To meet the software and technologies.
Pro bono to, yeah, you've got to say pro bono to 12, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Well, we certainly have. We've got 1,500. So we've got over 1,000 developers signed up. Our research shows we need to pay developers for their work in order to get sufficient developers. Right. Yep. Yep. Yeah, that all sounds good. Competitors selling to the trading market. We believe many of these right. Yep, absolutely. Yep. All sounds good.
Okay, so look at the business model very carefully. You may not want to clear all of this.
Okay. So our costs will be almost zero as we will run this as we do now as virtual online business with no need for physical office space. Yes. Our plan is to charge for effort by our team only out of actual book revenue as follows. To our charity non-profit, we will sell for a markup on the hourly rate of our developers, which will cover costs under the following headings: cost of developer, supervisory management, administration, cost of sale, contingency, net contribution. Yep. To our learner developers, we continue to provide free the charge basic service, and we'll charge for the following premium services: additional mentoring, introduction to employers, placement fees. Yes, those are all possibilities, I guess, worth mentioning. I think it's simpler said than done, as you say. But anyway, in addition to undertaking pay work, Adjumenters will seek donations so we can apply these funds to cover cost payments and projects. Yes, business plan. Given that we're not yet charging customers for our work, we feel it's best to adopt a conservative business plan for Adjumenters, although we've had practice to overachieve on the numbers below. Yes. Yep, that looks like. I mean, if we can.
There's a line missing here, Sam. We need to put in the number of people you want to get on your courses.
Right. Yes. Yes. So can I give me the number of people on AV 102 on AV courses? Yeah, so we do have our course starting next week, and I think, you know, I'll say 250 there because we've had 250 before. Let's see if we can go to like 500 and put 1,000. And this is our. I mean, there's another course which is not within AV, but I run, which is an order of magnitude larger than this, and that's already got 7,000 signed up. But I won't pop that in here because we're not. I'm sort of supporting that in collaboration with a number of other groups that are outside of Agile Ventures.
Okay, so those numbers are quite low. They're very conservative, Sam. I'd have thought we'd have bigger numbers.
Ones? Well, that's
what you just put in.
These are the well. See, so those are the numbers. Well, because you know, managing the course is a big overhead.
Okay.
I mean, to be honest, this could get much larger. But well, the way we run this course is as a specialized after course. I mean, I guess what we could, if we say that like number of people on feeder courses, we, like, you know, here this would be more like 10,000, and then we could go for 30,000, and then for 100,000. Let's say.
Oh, I see. So you've got you've got two levels of course then.
The two levels of courses. There's like this like specialized thing, and the people who are doing these courses support the people on these courses.
Right. Okay. So the people on where you say number of people on AV courses, can you have you use the word specialize?
Yeah.
That's a good idea. So put a phrase in there. So do you charge people for the premium courses?
We do not at the moment. That's basically because what we're doing is the model so far has been you know, training them up to be you know, then like this feeds to this feeds to this.
Right. So the feeder course then it's a software development feeder course. Yeah?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay. So I suggest you put the word software development in there before. Okay, feeder software development. Yeah. Okay.
I'll put it on.
And right, and then the course above that. What actually is the difference in that? What's this? Well, this software
development. This is more. This is on project management and working in teams. So this is more focused on software development, and then this is sort of like a higher level up. And this is trying to, like, ideally the people coming out of this course could be team leaders rather than just individual software developers.
Excellent. Great. Well, that's really good. I wanted one line, you put 2 lines in. Well done. Yep.
Okay. And then, yes. And so here, all right. And so you've got a tagline here. Yes, for this. Excellent. Sure. Yes. Well, I think there's, you know, I think this is great. I don't think there's any, I think we can submit this and we can include this. I don't see any reason not to include this.
Great. Okay, good. I think you know, it says particularly with the numbers, it now says so much more about what we're doing. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Good. Great. So so that's in there. Okay. Then going on, how much we've got in the rest of the document, and then we'll just add that in there. It keeps on giving me more things to agree to. Okay. Let's just agree to that, and it'll all go the right color. Okay. Right. Do people or organizations have to be members of your organization to receive some or all benefits from its purpose? Please confirm. Yes. People have to be members of our organization. Membership is open to any rights. Yes. So, okay. Open to any member of the public interested in developing this organization. But we need to operate a membership scheme in order to have a way we can, yes. Yes, this is important. What benefits do members get? Enable them replace participate in learning with learn through a mentorship process on Agile software. Yep, sure. Learn through mentorship programs on agile software development projects with real non-technical customers. Experienced agile members will provide support to members, learning how to navigate the complex interactions between satisfying non-technical clients by developing software in teams, using all the industry standards in project management, version control, continuous integration, and so forth. Enable them to volunteer participate in projects on a paid program basis. Enable them to vote on direction. Yep. Great. Why there's been a little bit? Because we're delivering live project agile plans, we need to therefore operate machine in order to go away of removing anyone, even if it's small or unreliable. What are the criteria? Membership is open to anyone through the website who can pay the basic membership fees. Financially disadvantaged individuals will have their membership covered by donations to the organisation. There are no basic skills or reference required to become a voting member. Participation in a particular project at the discretion of the individual project managers.
Okay, so by the project manager, you mean the project manager running that project?
I do.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, ultimately, of course, there's then a level of oversight in that, I don't know if we necessarily need to explicitly mention that here, but
I would just say responsible for the project.
Yeah, responsible for the projects. So, for example, we have Joao Pereira, and so he's based in the US, and he's running the Met Plus project at the moment for the this client in Detroit, and yeah, that's like, so people are then involved in that project on his discretion, and then his project is in Adventures on our discretion. So
yeah,
limited membership numbers. The reason for this: there's no limit. Is at discretion of individual project managers, and no guarantee the project will be available. New projects can in principle be started by anyone willing to. Yep. Take on a project management role.
Oh, so they're willing to take on a project. Anyone who's been through the course, yeah.
Yes, all can demonstrate, existing appropriate project management experience.
Oh, anyone?
I mean, I think we've got so kind of principles. So willing to take a project management role. I'll put it here. So project managers need to have completed agile venture project management courses, or demonstrate existing equivalent project management experience.
Excellent.
Okay. So we do not charge people as our basic services. The basic service of providing a learning community that brokers, charities, in search of solutions for teams are all free. Yes, they are. Yes, we may in the future make charges of premium membership, placement fees, and fees for provision services to charities. Premium member services might include sponsored status on the website, instruction to employers, and additional mentoring. Placement fees would be finder's fees that charities, not-for-profit organizations, or companies would pay us for choosing employees, and fees for charities would allow customer charity to set deadlines for delivery solutions by project teams. But charities not for is both on a paid and pro bono basis. From experience today, the resources we have to perform work on programs is limited, so we're able to take pro bono work only when we have volunteers willing to work on these projects. In addition to taking paid and pro bono work, we will also ourselves seek donations so we can apply these funds to cover the cost of paying our members and others to undertake projects. Apply these funds. I think I would also like to support financially disadvantaged.
No, hold on. No.
I mean, I think there's a slight difference between what we've mentioned we would do with the donations previously, and here.
Well,
I mean, cover the cost of paying our members. I mean, that's and others to undertake projects. I mean, I guess. Right. I mean, if you sorry.
What I've got in mind here, Sam, is that we what I would like to do is I'd like to go to people who sort of give 5,000 or 10,000 a year, yeah, and so basically with that money they can then support us in delivering a project.
Yes. Okay. Right. So then there's two things here: is that there's donations that will allow us to waive the membership fees for individuals, and then there's like donations that will allow us to waive the project charge for charities.
Yeah. So support financially disadvantaged members, or to cover the cost.
Well, I think then it's like to support charities that cannot afford the paid services. services, then by covering the cost of paying.
Brilliant.
Yep. Great. Okay. Yep. There we go. We're done.
Brilliant. That's really good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Okay. Now, what given the pressures on your time,
Yes.
as I say, you've given me a couple of great names to look at in the
Yes.
Pivotal Labs and the ThoughtBot. Yeah.
Yes.
But I do need to have spend a bit of time talking with you another time about basically exactly what you see the pitch as. You know, so the point is what my friend from Sweden has said is that he feels that a lot of packages that are out there today, there's been such advances in software development just over the last couple of years. Feels a lot of packages out there even are really way out of date. And so an argument for sort of starting from scratch with some of the latest tools and techniques.
Yep.
And basically doing that rather than getting a package which is well established but is basically you know, not very flexible and way out of date.
Indeed.
Yeah? So there's a whole load of stuff like that. So what's the best way of having you and I having a chat, really? I mean, it's what it is. It's a workshop about the sales pitch.
Okay. Well, and is that something that you want to do just you and I, or you want to involve other people in?
I think let's start off with you and I. So I'll do some more research on it, and then I'll come to you with, you know, some questions. Like, I mean, the obvious question is, look, how do you guys relate to packages? So if you get a package like Civic CRM,
yeah.
So a lot of stuff can be done with Civic CRM on that's open source, or Sugar CRM is sort of a low cost chargeable.
Right.
So basically, you know, if someone wants something like that, should they buy a CRM system, or should they come to you? So that's the sort of thing I want to really try and get an understanding around, is to see, well, exactly where is the sweet spot market for what you guys are able to do.
Yes, and I think that's something that Thomas will have good insights on. He's been talking to me about, if I can just find it now, what was it? A thing called HubSpot as well.
HubSpot. I love HubSpot. Yeah, they tell me stuff every day, but that's HubSpot is about marketing messages.
Marketing messages, right? And CRM is the customer relations management. But for me, from an academic and software engineering background, the distinctions between a customer relation management and a marketing system, I guess customer relation management is internal. I mean, we've been using there's, like, for example, there's Pipedrive as well. Do you know Pipedrive?
Pipedrive.
Yeah, so Pipedrive is another customer relations management system.
Okay.
And I think that so I'm just looking at their website. They call themselves Sales CRM for small teams with big ambitions. And I would say that the kind of thing is here is that, you know, it would probably, in most cases, it probably wouldn't make sense for people to, like, ask us to build them a CRM, because probably many of their kind of immediate needs will be met by, you know, an off-the-shelf CRM. And, you know, if they're at sufficiently small scale, then, you know, I mean, but this is the kind of thing, in terms of partly what we offer in the Agile thing, is that sometimes what we would do is we're talking with a customer, we'd say, actually, you can just use this off-the-shelf thing. You don't, and it would be disingenuous of us to say, oh, you know, we'll build you this thing when something already exists. I mean, this is the thing again about, we were talking about last week, about it's not being, you know, oh, we will give you a Ruby or Rails solution per se. The critical thing about the Agile is really getting down to an understanding of the customer need, and then being able to say to the customer, look, if you just change the way you run things a little bit, your problem goes away. Or if you use this off-the-shelf solution, whether it's happens to be Google Spreadsheets, or it's Pipedrive, or it's HubSpot, or whatever it is, you know, use that, and, you know, and see how you go. And if it's like, oh, actually, the kind of the off-the-shelf vanilla offerings are not quite giving us what we need. Yeah, that's the situation.
Right.
That's gone.
Is Pipedriver open source?
I don't think it is. It might be. I would be surprised if it is. I know what a lot of these things now have, rather than necessarily being open source, is that they have an open API.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm fairly sure that Pipedrive is not open source.
If someone wants a CRM system, then would you be willing to give them Pipedrive, but you basically use the open API?
We could potentially build on top of the open. I mean, as it happens, I think Pipedrive, we're not so impressed with the API that they've developed. But so, I mean, that's the kind of thing that, you know, I mean, we in principle, we can be into, like, so for example, what we've done with Harrow Community Network is they want to work with Do It, right, who have a closed source system, but they have an open API. And so we've done the open API integration with Do It for Harrow Community Network. So yeah, I mean, of course, it all depends upon, you know, the quality of the API that these other systems are providing. But absolutely, we will very happily. I mean, that's because it's a great challenge, great learning experience for our developers. I mean, this is the whole microservices model, right? Is that you've got all these different things that expose APIs, so you can grab data from Pipedrive, you can grab a bit from Do It, and you can mix it up and pull it up and create kind of a mash, as it were, of all of these different components that are out there. And it's sort of then you have this cloud platform that you take the elements from.
Yeah. So my Swedish friend Mats,
Yes.
I mentioned Middleman, which you said before. So he really likes Middleman because he likes the security of the static website.
Yeah, absolutely.
What he likes to do, he likes to take Middleman, and then for the going into the application. So if you're in Middleman, right, and you're going into an application window, he likes JavaScript and Angular JS.
Yeah, which we work with as well. Yeah, Thomas is doing a lot of Angular.
And then Ionic as well for the mobile elements.
Yeah, that's exactly what Thomas is. Project Unify. He's using Angular and Ionic.
Brilliant. Okay.
Yeah. And then that's so what we were talking about there. So I showed you for the Makers Academy site is it's Middleman, and then when you need the application, you go, you know, onto another. You do something more sophisticated with a more sophisticated stack.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I understand that now, which I didn't before. Okay. So what that leads us on to then really is in terms of, obviously you've got a lot on with your course at the end of May, but what do you want to do and what's your vision for basically getting up a simple website that describes the essence of this business plan we've just talked about?
Well, I mean,
when you want that up and running?
Well, I would say is, you know, if I can get this charity thing submitted today and that's done and I can forget about it for the time being, we can make that the focus of our Tuesday meetings going forward. So, you know, if we're, I guess, yeah, I mean, the challenge that I have in my mind is the amount of time that I spend on supporting the, you know, existing courses versus building new stuff. But I would very much like to see that, you know, for example, the Middleman site created and up, you know, within the next few weeks. I mean, I think, you know, let's see what we can do. Why don't we, for example, make that the focus of next Tuesday's meeting of saying, let's get this done, you know, let's get something up, and then we can start iterating on it.
Brilliant. Okay, so I'm here for the next 2 weeks. I'm here for the 19th and 26th.
Right.
And then I'm away for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Sure.
So yeah. So I'm going to be here next week, but the week after I'm going to be in Edinburgh, and so it might be more complicated. Maybe if we moved, I mean, probably we moved to a Tuesday so that Brian can attend, and Brian hasn't popped up today. Although I can perhaps confuse him by which room we're in.
Let's just agree in principle. What instead of the 26th, what day do you want to do?
So it would be if we did the Wednesday. Let me just pull up the calendar. Where are we here? April. Yes, so 19th next week should be fine, but then the following week, if we did the 27th.
27th, okay.
So
we'll go for
next week. Yeah, go on.
What time suits you best, given your other calls? Do you want to do 9:30 or 10 or what?
I think that the 9:30 works fine. Yeah, I mean that's a reasonable time. We've got a good chance of catching Thomas and so on.
Yeah, super. Okay, doke. So, well, look, what I'll do some work on the, I'll carry on the work on the website then, and then basically look to next session. I'll put forward some ideas for the an outline of some words for the site. Yeah?
Yep.
And I also have some more questions for you about basically what you want to do in terms of CRM. So, I mean, well, a good question for you is that if someone wanted a CRM, then at the moment is Pipedrive your favorite, or do you prefer, or what?
I mean, I would probably say that Pipedrive is the one that I have personally the most experience with. I mean, I think the challenge is to say somebody wants a CRM, you know, Pipedrive has certainly, you know, got a lot of great features, but then it's going to depend, whether I was to recommend Pipedrive would depend so much on what they were using it for. Like in the context of Makers Academy, we're using Pipedrive, and, you know, in an academic setting, and there was a bit of a mismatch between, you know, the academic and, you know, the students and then the, you know, very sales oriented aspects of Pipedrive. But if, you know, for example, you've got a colleague who's you know, doing traditional business, and they're trying to close deals and, you know, understand about, you know, customers and want to get back in touch with customers and see, okay, this deal is rotting and all that feature, then Pipedrive, I think, would be a great starting place for the small scale. But it's very difficult, I think, to give a blanket recommendation, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Sure. Okay, so the two that I've read about in the charity sector are Sugar CRM, which was open source, now is not.
Right.
So the Sugar advanced features is $65 a month. And that includes advanced workflow, which sounds good. Yeah. And then the other one is the Civic CIVI CRM, which is open source.
Right. Yes. Yes, indeed. And now I haven't used Civic CRM, but we were discussing it with the charity group here. I think I probably can't at the moment compare and contrast Sugar CRM and Civic CRM with Pipedrive. I mean, there are other things like Trello, for example, that I think, you know, there are free instances available that prior to Pipedrive we were using Trello in Makers Academy. So, but yeah, I mean, at the moment I would probably have to do an evaluation of the Civic CRM and the Sugar CRM. The fact that Civic CRM is open source would be, you know, in its favor for me, but at the same time, open source is not a guarantee of quality. It's a guarantee of openness, that you can see what the quality level is, but it's not a guarantee of quality per se. So I think if I was, you know, but who have you got who's interested in grabbing a CRM? Is that you've got to sort of start up?
Well, I think the thing is, from what I'm reading, is that CRM is such a basic thing for a charity that you know, what I would, as part of this sort of platform approach, what I would like to do is really to find a customer who, and if what they want is something which we feel is, you know, is a fairly standard thing, then basically let's do the evaluation at that point, swing behind that model, and then say, look, for example, look, we have a Pipedrive platform. So anybody who wants Pipedrive, they go onto that platform, well, subject to the field that they're in.
Sure.
And then let's try and, as I said earlier, let's try and get them to pick up some chums who would share the stuff, because I really feel this model has got, this is a really innovative model that's not being talked about elsewhere. And or alternatively, you know, take a sort of open thing, which is the Civic thing, which I think parts of it are out of date, and then basically gradually rewrite big chunks of Civic in over time, rewrite them into the latest software.
Sure. Yeah, and I'm just looking at a comparison here between Civic RM and Sugar CRM with, interestingly, from this comparison, Civic CRM doing doing rather better there.
Civic way ahead.
On that, this is GoToCrowd. I can send you the link.
So usability was really Oh, wait a minute. No.
Usability. I mean, this is saying. I mean, it's kind of. I'm not sure. I mean, it's highlighting the green thing. But usability is 7.9 for Civic CRM, and it says like 7.1 for Sugar CRM. So it's not. It's and it's highlighting this one in green to indicate that this is. Yeah.
Okay. So
you can see.
Yeah.
You can see basically of these different things. Sugar CRM is slightly easier to set up, but Civic CRM is ahead on these aggregate reviews here.
What a direction! Look at this, a huge difference. Wow, that's amazing.
See, and this is one of the things that can happen with open source is that the danger with a closed model, like you might have with you're telling me that Sugar CRM is a closed model, is that if they run out of funding, if they just sort of run out of resources, then it can stagnate very quickly. That can also happen with open source. But the amazing thing with open source is that if there's an active user community who really likes it, they can get it. Anybody can pick it up and keep moving it in the right direction. So again, open source is not a guarantee that you get an active user community and that things do go in the right direction, but it opens that possibility for things.
So just run down the page here, Sam. What date was this?
So let's have a look. I mean, this is the danger with things like this on the web is it's not clear when this is being created from. Now, I mean, I just found this by, I mean, we can see like there's other things. So there's Software Insider here. I mean, can we find from here, it's not obvious. Let's have a look. We've got a Software Insider here. We've got a comparison there, which is not necessarily so easy to interpret. Yeah, it would be nice if we could see what the publication date of this page is. Can we get that from the cache? Yeah, it says, I mean, I wonder if we can see some of the individual reviews and see when they come from. Read full review here. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, that's a review from May 24th, 2013. And this
okay, it's not too bad.
Yeah. So, but the link, I put the link here. Did you see it pop up in the? There's a chat environment associated with the Hangout. If you mouse over the Hangout, so if you mouse over the Hangout, there's there's like a blue button with at the very top on the left-hand side, and then that pops up a little chat window on the side, and you'll see I've posted you the links for Pivotal, ThoughtBot, and that Civic CRM versus Sugar CRM in there. Did you find the chat?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But then I'm kind of interested. My interest is here in the Civic CRM. Is where is their open source hosted? Apparently, Civic CRM used by large NGOs, including Amnesty International, Creative Commons, and the Free Software Foundation, and so on. So that's very. I mean, these are if these are still using it. I mean, Creative Commons and Free Software Foundation, Wikimedia Foundation. Yeah, those are big. Okay, and so Drupal. So it sounds like this is PHP then. Yeah, it says Civic 7 version 4.2 supports Drupal, Joomla, WordPress. Oh, but it's got integrations. Here we go. Interesting. Okay. It's all right. It can be deployed in conjunction with Drupal, Joomla, or WordPress content management systems. I'm still operating type website. That's the website. I would like to see their source. Get involved. Register your site events. Community guidelines. Developer resources. Developer resources. Developer wiki. Stack Exchange. GitHub for Civic CRM. There we go. That's what we want. Oh no, that's a wiki and it's not GitHub. So can I not have a? Are they on GitHub? GitHub Civic CRM. Oh, there we go. Civi CRM. There it is. Yes. So Civi CRM core, and I can see here now. What are they? Yeah, it is PHP. Yeah, so it's a PHP system.
Is that good or bad or what?
Well, it's okay. I mean, PHP is a more modern scripting language, so it's much less high ceremony than Java or C++ or what have you. Where it's you could say that PHP is equivalent to Ruby in the stack that we tend to prefer using, and so we would use Ruby on Rails. These guys, it looks like they've got Smarty on PHP. Yeah. So I think it's the kind of thing that we have fewer PHP developers. We do have PHP developers coming through occasionally, you know, and so on. We sort of we feel that you know, PHP is not quite as elegant a language as Ruby. It's one of the reasons we do a lot of stuff in Ruby. We feel it's slightly more elegant, and so, you know, I think. But it's the kind of thing, you know, in the long run, probably we need to diversify. I mean, like, I would probably not necessarily want to throw myself wholeheartedly into rewriting parts of Civic CRM, given that it's PHP. I mean, the interesting question, I wonder if there is a Ruby CRM. Oh, there you go. So, for example, we've got fat-free CRM. I don't know if we'll find an open source Ruby CRM.
Oh yeah, that was the one. That's the one my friend told me about. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go. So yeah, Ruby. Oh, there you go. Yeah, Ruby on Rails CRM platform for Web 2.0, fat-free CRM. There you go. Yeah, and so I mean, this is the kind of one that you can see that they're all Ruby in there. We would be, you know, off the bat in a stronger position to be adding functionality to this. Of course, you know, if people have got an existing Civi CRM system, you know, all of these things integrate with these, you know, the REST APIs, and so you know, you can build this different. And then we got, oh look, there's like a base CRM Ruby. Yeah, that's a base CRM official API. Okay, that may be a Ruby library for the base CRM. Yeah.
If you were working with Civi CRM, then can you add modules to that in Ruby, or is that really, do you have to?
You wouldn't, like, so you wouldn't be putting them into the same system. If you're going to have your Ruby module interact with your PHP module, you would probably sensibly be doing that through a REST API. So you would want to be, they would effectively be standalone separate systems, and they'd be talking to each other over the network.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I think that's good for now. So basically, we've got at the moment, then we're focusing on. Let's take a look in more detail over the week at the Civi CRM thing, which is PHP, which is not so great, and then let's see what references the fat-free one's got. So if we had a completely neutral customer come along, then probably fat-free would be your sort of you know, your preference.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, again, the interesting question about these things is, you know, like, yeah, assuming one needs a CRM or that one feels one needs an existing CRM platform, and yeah, I think that because, like, for example, One Direction Harrow, I know that they still use Google Spreadsheets, and I think sometimes, you know, a CRM is a overkill. But so, I mean, I think, again, what it would be is it would all come back to me of not, oh, you need a CRM, I'm going to give you this one versus this one. It would all come back to, tell me about your business needs. Tell me about the problems that you're facing. And because, you know, let's work out where, you know, we can deliver the most effective value. Like I could have done with Harrow Community Network, sorry, Volkswagen Harrow, when I started, I could have pushed them down the road of going on the CRMs. What I did for them was I just tweaked a little bit their excuse me, the way that they were using the Google spreadsheets. That was enough for them for the time being, and they were really keen on, you know, can you build this whole directory that's going to be public facing? And we ended up focusing on that as being the kind of something that they couldn't get from anywhere else. So similarly, in terms of, you know, I think that at least to begin with, it would be difficult for us to be having to the charity and saying, like, right, we will be the all singing, all dancing, we'll manage your accounts, we'll manage your customer relations management, we'll do your marketing, we'll do all this, that, and the other. I think the key thing is that we'll sort of be able to be there, and, like, as I've just done with you now, I mean, I haven't particularly looked at Civic CRM, but you can see how quickly I can analyze the different components and look and whatever. And that's the kind of support that I would be looking to give to any charity who's coming to us.
Yeah, well, that's the sort of expertise. I mean, I've got no idea how you do that. I saw this for the first time when my friend Matt from Sweden went to your GitHub for the agile stuff. He did exactly what you did just now. Right. He went into the code and he said, "Okay, let's take a look at the code." I have no idea what he was doing, but, you know, he looked at the code and he said, "Wow, that's really good." Yeah. So he did exactly what you did.
There you go. Yes, absolutely. You know, wonderful. Well, great talking to you.
Good stuff. Good luck. Good luck submitting this. I'm really pleased with that now. Obviously, if you want to make any final changes, and then we've got pressure's on me now to get something ready so we can take a look at some first messaging on the 19th and then on the 27th of April.
And then let's get, hopefully before the 27th, we could even have some of that in a very simple first website and keep it, week by week we can iterate. Anyway, and yeah, sounds great. Fantastic. Thanks so much for your time, Charles.
Cheers.
See you really soon. Bye.
Take care. Bye.